Hello and welcome back to the channel. I am sat in the car waiting while we get supplies for the cinema, because who can afford the price of the snacks in the cinema nowadays? We're going to see two films tonight. First of all, Heretic, which I'm really looking forward to. I think Hugh Grant's going to be good in that. And then Juror number 2, which I saw trailered when I went to see Venom, and I thought it looked really good, really interesting. Just moving the car forward a bit. Someone's moved from the petrol pump. There's nothing as annoying as people sitting in front of petrol pumps when they're not getting petrol, is there? I shall let you know what we think when we come out. Light allowing, but it might be a little bit dark, but we'll let you know what we think. Speak to you later. So we are out of a double header, Heretic and Juror number 2. I'll be brief because I know it's not the best lighting in the world, but if I don't do it now, I always you can see what Darren thought. I'll not do it when I get home. So I never give you premise. Let's give you a little bit of premise. Heretic, starring Hugh Grant, is about a bit of a weirdo that is visited by a couple of Jehovah's Witnesses, a couple of young girls looking to, as they call it, baptize new members. One of them's quite experienced, the other one hasn't managed to convert anyone just yet. So they're going around different people, and Hugh Grant happens to be next on their list. When they get in, as it describes it in IMDb, a game of cat and mouse commences. I will tell you nothing more than that. I will, however, tell you when I'm going to discuss spoilers at the end, because I'm going to. I don't want this to go on too long, so I'll try and be brief. So, for the people that don't want to know any more than that, I thought it was very well acted. I thought Hugh Grant was excellent, but I did think he would play a pretty good creepy guy anyway. Cinematography was beautiful. Sound design was really good. Loads of like eerie, sort of like dripping, leaky noises, and like groans and moans of the house, and just clanking. Just the sound was really good. The subject matter was really, really interesting. There was a lot to do with theology in it, which in younger years I would have thought was really boring, but some of the facts that they came out with in this movie was really interesting and something I'd like to learn more about. But I feel there were holes in the story. I feel that what it seems we set out to achieve made no sense. I will say why in the spoilers. There's a couple of things I would have changed. I do think it was a better than average movie. I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. Yeah, I was going to give it a 3. I knew the person, right? We have driven to the car park, to the arse end of the car park, where nobody is literally parked. And she had to have a sly look before she got in, didn't she?
Of course she did.
Drove to the bottom end. I had perfect lighting outside the cinema. We drove to the bottom end of the car park so we could put our interior lights on underneath a spotlight here, a street light. There's only one car anywhere near us, and I says, wait to see these fuckers coming back. That's what's happening right now. Looking at us like we're mental. Well, so yeah, overall I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good. Is it as going to the cinema movie? I would say no. I'd say it'd just be as a fact of watching it at home. Sorry, that's my car shutting down. 3.5 out of 5. So before we talk spoilers, what did you think?
First 4/5 of it I thought was really good. Enjoyed it. I've always liked him. I've always said he could play a good creepy character like Robin Williams could. He has that.
Yeah. Robin Williams was, I preferred his straight roles, and I think Hugh Grant, as he ages, is going to get some really interesting roles rather than the like young fop.
In another film, was he an art dealer in one?
Can't remember.
That killed his kids. But towards the end, it was almost like they just thought, what do we do now? And it just tailed off into. It could have been any kind of ending, just the end. And took the points off it. At a push, I'd give it 3.5. 3 to 3.5. Yeah. Worth watching.
Initially, I gave it a 3. I upped it to a 3.5 because I looked at Letterboxd and I saw what other movies I was given 3s, and I thought, no, it was better than that. I just had personal problems with it, which I will tell you in a minute. Anything else?
That's about it.
Okay, spoilers. If you haven't seen Heretic, please don't watch any further. I will put a timestamp now as to when we start talking about juror number 2. So, this movie is, Hugh Grant is like really massively into theology. He's looking for the one true faith. So he mentions Judaism, Islam, Christianity, loads of different faiths. And he compares these faiths to derivatives, is it derivative, is that the word I use, of board games? Basically, Monopoly used to be another game that was invented by a woman, wasn't massively successful. The idea was stolen by a man who called it Monopoly. And then it showed like different versions of Monopoly, ridiculous versions, and he was comparing these to different faiths. And he mentioned like songs that basically, you know, like happened to Ed Sheeran. Oh, well, you've taken that from this song, that sort of thing. And he's comparing these things to different religions, taking bits that they want. And he mentioned loads of different facts about lots of different religions that were facts before Christianity was ever established that were really interesting. And I'm like, I would actually really like to know more about this. I didn't know half of this.
Everything has been changed to accommodate somebody else's view,
Yeah.
what they want.
So I'm like, yeah, I love this idea. So when these two girls come into his house, he's really affable, really like nice, really friendly, really likable. And the girl that has not yet converted anyone is like, oh my God, you think so? All Christmases have come at once. And it goes from a polite discussion to a slightly argumentative discussion into this guy is a fucking maniac. Now, my issue with the film, I loved everything up to that point, is the fact that Hugh Grant wanted to prove that control is the only true religion or faith by things he was doing. Like, if you've seen the movie when he kills someone and brings someone in and pretends it's the person that he has killed that's been resurrected. And my point is, who's he trying to prove this to? If he is sure about this and that he's in a little house on his own, kidnapping a woman and doing this with the crux of trying to prove something about religion and about the afterlife and about how things work, are we really trying to say that all it was a messed up guy that wanted to kill women and that's it? I felt that the movie warranted a bit more than that. I felt that there had to be more to it. I wanted him to actually really be in search of the one true faith and to maybe discover in the process of that there isn't one or whatever, but for them just to go to those lengths and have the complexities of storyline to that point and then it'd be like, oh, well, he was just trying to fool these two Mormon girls. Why? Why would he care what these two random girls think when he's going to do away with them anyway? What was the point? I just didn't get the point. If he wanted to prove that, I get the point, religion is just control. It's not about faith. He was trying to say all religions are about controlling the people that follow them. That was the point. But I just don't get why go to such extremes.
Like building that house.
Just for no reason.
All those people trapped in cages. Why?
So he basically just wanted to kill women, and all of that was just an elaborate cherry on top, and I would have liked them to have made more of it. Those people in that car have still not moved off. So that would be what I don't want to say didn't like. I thought it was a very good film, but I thought it could have been much better with a little bit more thought. They've gone now. So
is that a mobile phone there or a vape? Blue light.
I can see it. I have no idea what it is. Absolutely no idea. I would say it's a vape.
It's been flashing since we've been sat here.
I'll go see what it is. So the second movie we went to see was Juror number 2. I saw the trailer for this when we went to see Venom. I'm really curious about what this thing is that Darren's seen outside. This is a movie about a guy that is called up to do jury duty. His wife's heavily pregnant. She's about to give birth. Their last pregnancy didn't end very well, so it's paramount that he's there for his wife. He doesn't really want to do jury duty. Now, what I'm going to say sounds like a massive spoiler, but it happens right at the start of the movie. Anything interesting?
Just a broken vape. One of those neon lights.
Basically we get a flashback to him. I'll not go into the ins and outs of it, but he hits something on the road which he thinks is a deer, and it turns out it's not a deer. He's actually struck someone. And he coincidentally ends up on the jury for the case against someone else that they think has killed the boyfriend of the girl that he's killed. And it's only sort of at that point he realized, this is a massive hole in this that I couldn't get.
Just like what?
So he thinks he's hit a deer. He gets out, he has a look, he doesn't see anything. He thinks, oh, well, it's run off. And goes home and doesn't think anything else about it. Now,
Which is a well-known shortcut for the area they live in. It's a really popular route.
In actual fact, he has hit and killed a woman. Now, would you not have seen reports in the newspaper, on the news, saying a woman was struck and killed at this location, and you would go, oh shit, that might have been me. Well,
either struck or killed or murdered, one or the other, but they're going to be on bloody news.
But he ends up as a juror on the case, trying the boyfriend of the girl who people think has, like, beaten her to death or whatever. Now, that may sound like I've told you, like, oh my god, she's told us what happened. That's what the movie starts to be about. The trailer gives all of that away. It's basically this sort of like, oh my god, I know this guy hasn't done it. Everyone else thinks he has done it, and I have to somehow try and convince everyone that he hasn't done it without giving away the game that it was me. Really interesting premise, very well acted. Not a cinema movie. I kind of knew it was just going to be sort of my cup of tea. Darren probably found it really dull. It was okay. I thought it was too dragged out. I thought they could have went into a little bit more about the night. Would have been more interesting. They could have sort of put, you know, maybe somebody somehow being able to threaten him or getting wind of what was going on. It followed through too nicely for my liking. It ends on a bit of a moment of, oh, what? Is it this or is it this? I can't tell you without going into spoilers. I'm not going to lengthen this by talking spoilers about that one as well. But what's her? I always call her Tanda Newton, and it's not Tanda Newton. What's her that's in Hereditary? Toni Collette. She plays the DA in this. She is the prosecuting witness against the boyfriend who is innocent. But the question is, this guy, is he a bit of a dick? Is he a bit of a nasty piece of work anyway? They were always rowing. He was quite aggressive. He was a bit physical with her. And at the end, she does something where you're questioning, oh, did she do that for this reason or this reason? So it ends on a bit of a cliffhanger and leaves you up to what you think is what happened at the end. I thought it was decent. I would give it a 3 out of 5 because it was a good film, but it was very slow. It won't be everybody's cup of tea. And you do sort of have to suspend belief that he was in that situation in the first place because it's a bit ridiculous. Would you not? If everybody's going to hear if someone's hit and killed on a road that's close to where they live, and they're hit and killed on a road at a time when you know you've hit something, it's like, you know what I mean? But yeah, I would say if you want to go to the cinema to see either, go to see Heretic, but I would say just as well wait on stream for either of them, to be honest, because I don't feel the cinema's going to add anything to the experience, so save your pennies. You want to say anything about Juror number 2?
Give it a 2.5.
Oh, I thought Darren wouldn't really like it.
No, it's not about that. I don't mind that type of film. I just thought it toyed with dealing with the justice system. I didn't do it with it. It toyed with several other angles that could have taken part in the film. Didn't do anything with it.
And took a long time doing it.
It took an awful long time doing it, and it finished on a what?
Yeah.
So it was like,
I actually quite liked how it ended, where it left it open to interpretation. You could think one of two things was happening, and I quite liked that. But yeah, 3 from me, 2.5 from Darren, and I think from both of us round about a 3.5 out of 5 for Heretic. So
just the ending of Heretic spoiler.
Yeah, they should have bought more into the theology side of things and made him like a real nutcase. Well, he was a real nutcase, but more of a nutcase because of religion and theology. But yeah, thank you for watching. Apologies for the lighting, but I always say I'll do reviews and then I get home and I can't be arsed. I meant to do one for Venom, but we didn't. We thought it was alright. It's just typical. I actually thought it was the better of the 3. I know everybody doesn't agree with that, but it was okay. It was watchable. It was enjoyable. It wasn't anything incredible, but it wasn't absolutely terrible like people are saying.
It was a once watch. I won't watch it.
Yeah,
again,
I
but
wouldn't
it was
watch any of them
enjoyable.
again. Isaac really likes the Venom movies, so that's why we went. Right, we're going to go home. Thank you for watching. Let us know below what you thought of either movie, if either appealed to you, and I shall look forward to speaking to you next time. Over and out from Lisa Lives.